Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. We will begin Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021 board meeting. It is now 7:04. At this time, I will ask for if Mr. Lewis will lead us in prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Meek. Okay. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Please stand.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. In lieu of a formal prayer tonight, I ask that you join me in a moment of silence of reflection on the lives of the employees who we have lost in the recent weeks and the staff and students and families they impacted. Amen. Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time, we will move the South Carolina School Board Association award to later. It will be, we will get this award during the Superintendent's Report. And so at this time, I would like to call for the Miracle Worker Award, Tatiana Oliveira. I also don't have it yet.
She's actually with us.
Right.
Should appear here.
How are you? Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Very good. I also wanted to, is Tara Dean here? Okay, good, Tara. Why don't you come on? Well, first of all, welcome. I'm looking at you and I'm looking at you and all of our board members are watching. So with that being said, tonight it's our honor to present the Miracle Worker Award to a heroic Grebel County Schools employee. The Miracle Worker Award was first approved by the board in 1996 to recognize individuals for going on beyond the call of duty. The actions of a teacher during an incident last week serves as an example of how we all hope we would react during a crisis. I'd like to introduce Grebel County Schools virtual program fourth grade teacher, Tatiana Oliveira, who is with us virtually, along with her grade level administrator, Julie Carlson. Are you there? Hey, Julie, how are you? And next to me, I have Tara Dean, who is the supervisor of the virtual program, is here also in person. And we welcome both of you for this evening presentation. Please join me in watching this video of Mrs. Oliveira and how she helped to save a life while teaching remotely. Do I need to do the screen? Okay. You have to love technology, virtually, remotely. I think we need. Tara, please do this for us a minute.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, where's the sound, Nancy? The sound? Here is that sound.
Point to myself, what do I see?
When you're a virtual teacher with a class full of 10-year-olds, you never know where the conversation might lead.
Okay, I think the first one's like something thinker, like.
The first one was Nikki Knocky New.
But for Tatiana Oliveira, a fourth grade virtual teacher at Blythe Academy, what happened last week was a first.
This one particular student came into the meeting a little bit late. She put a message in the chat and just said something about her mom. And I didn't really see it because I was in the middle of teaching and didn't get a chance to read it.
Oliveira moved the student into a breakout room when she noticed the little girl was crying. It was there the little girl explained something was medically wrong with her mother.
She said, I've tried asking my mom some questions. I've tried talking to her and she's not responding to me. I said, okay, I need you to go back to her room. I need you to just check to make sure that she is still not responding, see if she opens her eyes or anything. And she went back, she checked, she came back and said, she's still not responding. And so at that point, I said, okay, I'm going to need you to be really brave. I'm going to need you to call 911.
EMS fire, what's the address?
Paramedics arrived within minutes and were able to revive the student's mother. The mom, it turns out, is diabetic and was low on insulin. Oliveira watched the whole thing unfold on her computer.
So I was pretty much there. I was carried to the bedroom and to the front door to open the door for the EMTs and all of that. So it was, I had kind of a front row seat to the action there.
Tara Dean, the director of the K-8 virtual program, says what Oliveira did speaks loudly about the close interaction between virtual teachers and their students.
What it tells me, and I've seen it over and over this year with our teachers, is they are truly engaged and have formed relationships, not just with their children, but the families of their children, because they're in their homes every day.
Are you working on your atmosphere model?
For Oliveira, who loves teaching remotely, it was a reminder that virtual classes are in some ways more personal than teaching children in the classroom.
For a lot of our students this year, school is their home and home is their school. And we have to be really conscious of that and always strive to show empathy. And I hope that I can start to live that out a little bit more.
So just get a little bit closer. You're going to put it right in the middle. Nope, I can't see the whole thing.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I present to Tatiana Oliveira the Miracle Worker Award for heroic action in recognizing an emergency situation, coming to the aid of a student in distress, and taking action to save her parent's life. Presented by the Grebel County School Board of Trustees, February 23rd, 2021. We are so fortunate to have such an outstanding person on the Grebel County Schools team. You are a credit to the district and to your profession. Please join me in congratulating Mrs. Oliveira for all that she has done and for being so smart at what she does best. Thank you. Please make sure everybody gets what they so deserve, okay? Thank you so much. And at this time, I would like to welcome the South Carolina School Board Association Champion of Public Education Award, Operation Santa, South Carolina, and I will ask Mr. Sailors if he would be so kind as to present the award.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. If I could ask you to stay up here, Linda, and I'd like to ask Mrs. Wells and Mr. Meek to join us. Mr. Meek and Mrs. Wells, Mrs. Levinas Wells, were the two people that recommended to the board that we make this recognition. And so I'll try to do this while properly masked. How's that? You know, I'll go home and get talked to like that. Okay. On behalf of the South Carolina School Board Association, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Operation Santa South Carolina Director Kathy Shepard, along with volunteers Kathy and Russell Tate and Savannah Lackey, is that pronounced correct? Thank you, sweetie, who are here tonight representing their organization. To Operation Santa South Carolina, we all say thank you very much. Thank you for your wonderful partnership with Greenville County Schools. This partnership displays dedication and love for the students that we all represent. This partnership between the Operation Santa South Carolina and the school district serves as a model for other school districts in our state, and it's why South Carolina School Board Association is proud to recognize and honor you with the Champions for Public Education Award. The Champions for Public Education Award is presented to the business or nonprofit organization or individuals who greatly support public schools in our state. Greenville County Schools nominated you for this award because of your tremendous support for students in our district. So, to the representatives of your association and your nonprofit, we thank you for going above and beyond the call of duty. Let me tell everyone here a little bit about this great partnership. Operation Santa South Carolina began in 2000 when John Shepard, a Greenville County Schools principal at the time, recognized the need to help less fortunate students in the schools and during the holiday season, the students of our schools and during the holiday season. John and his wife Kathy shopped for 5 children that year, providing the gifts to their families. When John unfortunately passed away 2 years later, Kathy was determined to continue her late husband's legacy of serving children and families in need. In 2012, Operation Santa South Carolina Incorporated was established as a 501c3, and that year, through the generosity of friends, community members, and local businesses, they were able to provide gifts for 130 students. In 2019, the program has grown to serve over 850 students in 16 of our elementary schools. One of the most impressive aspects of this entirely volunteer-run organization is its success in developing and nurturing partnerships with the ripple effect of community engagement and the investment in our students within the school district. Numerous businesses, churches, community groups have donated money, goods, and time. Over 500 volunteers adopt children and shop for their basic needs. The most notable partnership is with Century BMW, who provides the space to collect and store the gifts and to host Santa's Workshop, where over 50 volunteers gather to wrap the packages and gifts for distribution. The mission of Operation Santa South Carolina Incorporated is to provide the basic necessities to Greenville County Schools children who otherwise would not experience the joy of the gifts during the holiday season. This mission is accomplished by working with social workers in our schools and counselors throughout the district, identifying children whose parent or guardian is struggling to provide day-to-day basic needs. By providing the basic needs as well as educational and play materials, Operation Santa South Carolina helps students to be ready to learn when they return from their winter break. It also sends a message of love, care, dignity, and support that the greatest and the neediest of struggling families are met. So on behalf of the South Carolina School Board Association, I would like to once again thank you for your efforts, and we do appreciate everything that you have done and will continue to do. I would like to also, on behalf of our school board, thank you for the message that you send to our community, and certainly hope that this recognition is a small token of our dedicated appreciation. Linda? And be careful, those are sharp.
There you go. Well, I'm not going to put anyone, that's for sure. Thank y'all so much. There you go. Lisa, you want to come up here?
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I have asked Mr. Davies if he would go over the rules for our 3 minutes for our speakers, our guest speakers who are here tonight. And he said he would be glad to do that. But before we go with our visitors, I would entertain a motion to accept the consent calendar.
Motion to approve.
Second motion was made by Mr. Sudduth and is seconded by Mrs. Goodwin Caldwell. Any questions? All in favor, please address by adopting the consent calendar. Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and the motion carries. 4.01, appearance of visitors. We will begin with Christine Allen. She is not here, so we will go to our next, Kristen Burrell. Mrs. Burrell, I'm going to ask Mr. Lewis if he would hold up his hand. He will be the one that's keeping your time. And whenever you're ready to begin, you have your 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Burrell, and I'm the parent of 2 high schoolers in Greenville County. I'm a former Army paratrooper and have lived in 3 countries, which required me to learn 2 foreign languages on the ground. I'm an attorney and have served as a guardian ad litem in numerous court cases, including DSS cases. I've taken plenty of risks in my life, but they have been calculated risks. Sending children into a school that is not applying best practices during a pandemic is not a risk that any parent should have to take. Courts apply the best interest of the child standard. It is not in the best interest of my children or any children to knowingly expose them to danger that is avoidable. In fact, courts remove children from families for less. Pardon my French, but I'm about to utter a 4-letter word: mask. I am here today to ask for a universal mask mandate that is fully enforced. In addition, I'm asking you to apply the virus mitigation measures that have been proven effective and are now universally recommended by public health experts, including the local doctors who are here today and the CDC. Those measures include universal masking and physical distancing. Note I said masking and physical distancing, not or physical distancing. When the district had plexiglass installed, it was following DHEC guidance. You were doing the best you could with the limited knowledge you had at the time. However, science has evolved and we now know that plexiglass is not a panacea. The CDC says that universal masking is the most important virus mitigation factor, yet masks are not required in my daughter's classroom because supposedly students can stay 6 feet apart. However, this is a constant challenge. Please use your common sense and ask yourselves whether it is realistic to expect kids to sit still all day, especially when the furniture is on wheels. The district needs to update the mask policy to eliminate anything that is inconsistent with CDC guidance, including mask breaks and the 6-foot rule. Why isn't our district applying the CDC guidelines, the consensus of public health experts, and the evidence about masking? What is the harm in requiring masks? Mask enforcement is also an issue. We are now 1 year into the pandemic and in the second semester, yet some students are still not wearing masks properly. There should be more immediate consequences when students flout the rules. I am asking you to update and enforce the mask policy, adopt other mitigation measures per CDC guidelines, and allow more flexibility with attendance for students who are able to meet academic expectations virtually until our district is following best practices. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen Burrell. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Michelle Martin. Michelle Martin. Michelle, how are you? I'm going to ask, Mr. Lewis is sitting up on the, right up there. He's the one that's keeping the time, the 3 minutes. Okay. And so whenever you're ready, you may begin.
My name is Michelle Martin. My youngest daughter and 3 of my grandchildren are Greenville County students. I am a paralegal and a moderator of the Facebook group, South Carolinians Reducing the Spread and Impact of COVID-19. We are a 32,000 member group dedicated to advocating for evidence-based policies that will reduce the transmission and impact of COVID-19 in South Carolina. I know that we are all concerned for our kids' education, physical, and mental health. I am here to reinforce the importance of universal masking. Mask wearing is the easiest, most inexpensive mitigation method available. The high school that my daughter goes to has, as far as I can tell, done a very, very good job with masking. But also because I see information from around the county, not all buildings are the same. So we are asking the district to require 100% masking in all of the schools all of the time. It is my hope that the school district will require and enforce mask use by everyone on school property. It is the right thing to do so that our kids and our community can be as safe as possible. I know that it's been really difficult, especially in the community where I'm at. A lot of people are not happy about it, but it really, really is an easy ask. It's very simple. This virus has affected so very, very many people. My completely healthy 27-year-old daughter ended up COVID positive the first week she went back to work in July, and she still has physical issues because of it. And she also has said if she gets it again, she doesn't think she'd make it. For some people, it's not that bad. For some people, it's really terrible. And wearing a mask just isn't a difficult thing to do. I'm concerned about the activities, the sports activities in the community, not just at the school. And I really think that you guys have a voice in the community to be able to let people know it's really important. If we want our kids to go to school, if we want our community to be better physically, emotionally, financially, we all need to wear a mask in public. And I really just think it's that simple.
Thank you so much, Ms. Martin. Thank you. Mr. Judson Bomer.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. Keeping me to 3 minutes is going to be very difficult, but I'll make it very short, very sweet. My name is Judson Bomer. My son is a senior at J.O. Mountain High School, and I'm here to talk to the board tonight about he and 2 of his other teammates receiving ineligibility status this year for spring sports. And I come to you to talk to you tonight, and I'll try not to get emotional, and I'll try to make it quick. He's sitting over at J.O. Mountain High School right now for his first senior year lacrosse game, and he's on the sidelines. He's got a 4.235 GPA. So the background information behind that, and I'll try to stick to the facts, knowing that I've got 3 minutes, is up to his junior year, he and his other 2 classmates did very well academically. AP courses, honors courses. All three of them only needed one course to graduate their senior year. One course, AP US Government Econ. They took 4 courses, US Government Econ, AP Calculus Honors, AP Stats, and the English 101 college level course. They did not pass the English 101 college level course. The AD looked at the rules and the guidelines, the bylaws for eligibility that states you must pass 4 courses to be eligible to play spring sports. We reached out to Greenville Tech to try to work with the teacher immediately to say, hey, we see there was a problem. They had virtual online learning issues. There's a hardship clause that we can appeal to the state of South Carolina, but the athletic director at J.O. Mann refuses to hear us. I've reached out to Bryce Nelson. We spoke on the phone. I've reached out to the principal, Charlie Maybank. He's not returned my phone calls. I've reached out to, excuse me, Daryl Nance as well. And I'll just take a quick minute to read my emails to them, which summarizes my point. Bryce Charlie, thank you for the follow-up call yesterday. I attached Daryl Nance to the email chain because you told me he was fully aware of the situation and you had asked him for guidance directly for these boys. As you know by the conversation, I'm very passionate about the situation we have at hand, and I'm looking for solutions on how we get remedy to the situation. As per your instructions, we reached out to Greenville Tech to see if there's anything the boys can do to make up the work for a passing grade, and we'll keep you posted. She said they could not. Your stance as AD of J.O. Mann is that Alexander deemed athletically not eligible for spring lacrosse based on the fact that he only took 4 classes first semester. Of the 4 classes, he passed 3 high school courses, B, and failed the English 101 course we paid for at Greenville Tech. You're aware that he is enrolled in the same English 101 course and is taken currently at Greenville Tech. You have looked at his transcripts and realized at the end of his junior year, he had a GPA of a 4.345 with 8 AP courses under his belt and numerous honors courses, only 2 C's since his 8th grade year. You understand that he only needed 1 course to graduate, which is US Econ and Government he is passing. I request a hardship clause based on the fact that COVID has affected him mentally and the delivery associated with the English 101 class was beyond his control. It was a virtual class. He had never taken virtual classes before. And again, he failed the class and fully understand that, but I feel like it was outside of his control. If there's anything incorrect, please respond accordingly. I'm willing to exhaust all my resources to find a resolution so that Alexander can have a senior year. COVID took their season as juniors. Now they're taking their senior season as well. I've attached his grades that I discussed. Please take some time to discuss as a group. Okay, I had one little piece left. Bryce, I'm appealing back to the group for an understanding of the bylaws. And it states, if eligible in the first semester, must pass 4 subjects. Can you tell me why the rule is at 4? If they take 7 subjects, fail 1, they play. 6 subjects, fail 2, they play. 5 subjects, fail, all 3, they play. 4 subjects, fail 1. All college level classes, he can't play.
Thank you, Mr. Bomer. Someone from the district will contact.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you. Carmela Epright.
Carmela.
Supposed to be reading the name one more time.
Carmela Epright. Ms. Epright, your 3 minutes will begin. Mr. Lewis will be timing you, and we will start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, my name is Carmela Eppright. I'm a professor of philosophy at Furman, and I have professorships in biomedical sciences and in behavioral sciences at both of the USC schools of medicine. I have advised the state on pandemic planning, safety, and resource distribution since 2005, and currently serve on 5 state, local pandemic advisory committees. I have a child who is an 8th grade student, and my spouse is a Greenville County teacher. In January, a Freedom of Information request revealed that the district did not reopen schools because they were told that failing to do so would increase community infection rates. Their advisors denied making this claim, yet the district published it without their consent. Such deception demonstrates that the district's health and safety claims cannot be trusted. Their infection data that they report is flawed. Infected children rarely show symptoms, and they are least likely to be tested. They do not have a right to obtain their employees' testing results unless the employees consent to that. Therefore, what the district knows about school infection rates is limited, anecdotal, and incomplete. We cannot focus only on the headline that schools are not a significant source of infection. This is true only if the CDC guidelines are followed, but this is not occurring. Schools permit so-called mask breaks, and students can remove masks if they're physically distanced. But COVID is a respiratory disease. Droplets are cumulative. That makes distance irrelevant if hours are spent in close quarters. Furthermore, plexiglass is being used as a replacement for social distancing, despite the CDC's clear recommendations with regard to plexiglass. Its efficacy as a replacement for distancing is absolutely been denounced in the peer-reviewed literature on this matter. The district enforces no consequences for those who do not or who inappropriately wear masks, and they do not enforce their policy requiring notification if a classmate tests positive. So I'm asking the district to do the following: issue a universal mask mandate with no distancing exceptions, follow the CDC's guidance with respect to plexiglass and do not use it as a replacement for physical distancing, accurately report their advisors' recommendations and consistently follow notification policies. And finally, they should think critically, carefully, and creatively about how to provide flexible attendance policies without further burdening their exhausted teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eppright. Someone from the district will contact you.
Thank you.
Kurt Blotcher. Kurt Blotcher.
There you go. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Kurt, Mr. Lewis will be keeping your time 3 minutes, and we will begin whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I am Kurt Blocker, the Science Lab instructor at East North Street Academy of Math and Science, and my school's Teacher of the Year for this year. I've taught elementary school for 19 years, and I've worked for Greenville County School District for the past 12. While all of us have struggled to come to terms with the COVID-19 pandemic and its impacts on every aspect of our lives, the role of schools, and more importantly, the administrators, teachers, and staff members who make them work has been especially challenging. We started the school year with a detailed reaction plan based on COVID-19 data from DHEC and local hospitals. Specific benchmarks were supplied so students, staff, and community could be able to assess risk and understand any changes to the district attendance plans in light of these community infection rates. However, as the school year progressed, it became increasingly obvious that the clear and unambiguous data, which initially served as the linchpin to this plan, was being disregarded. Throughout the year, as infection and hospitalization rates both nationally and locally continued to spike, the district never backtracked on the attendance plans, even as community infection rates spiked at 1,600 per 100,000 for Greenville County, 8 times higher than the red level stated at the beginning of the school year of 200 per 100,000. The district moved quickly through 1, 2, and then 5 days of a week schedule for both elementary and middle schools. Why were we not provided the data or the premises that justify these attendance plans in the face of dangerously high infection rates? The district publishes student infections and the positive test rates that teachers and staff chose to disclose, but even this incomplete information is poorly displayed. We are provided no cumulative total for each school, no tally of current active cases, either in the district or at schools. We are not told how many students or staff are waiting test results or quarantining due to close contact, or how many have been hospitalized or even have died from COVID complications. We also do not know how many substitutes are needed or how many are available within the district. Thus, this notification system provides only a limited set of data, and thus the full impact of COVID in our schools is not being clearly communicated. How are we supposed to understand the risk we face by coming to school each day in the absence of this vital information? I am asking that the district provide more complete COVID data in a timely fashion. Even more frustrating, the district claimed at the end of the winter break that our community would be better served by opening schools. While Greenville County made the national news as one of the worst hotspots in the country based on per capita infection rates, we opened as usual on January 4th. The decision was made without our consent or input. Teachers and staff members are not healthcare workers. It is not our job to risk our safety to perform this service for the community. It remains unclear why the district is so adamant about returning to a full 5-day attendance plan. They should have explained their reasoning to teachers and staff so that they could have real discussion about risks and benefits. We might still have disagreed, but the process would have been open, honest, and respectful. Most importantly, we might have found alternatives to both protect employees and serve student needs. I ask that the district be more transparent about their decision-making process and get more input from their teachers and staff before making decisions that impact all of their lives.
Thank you, Mr. Block. Thank you. Someone from the district will contact you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That concludes all of our speakers. And we do have those that have submitted their public comments online. All right. Superintendent's report. We have several things that that are gonna fall under the superintendent's report, but I will turn this over to Dr. Royster at this point.
Thank you, Ms. Levinas Wells. I'd like to start the report tonight. I don't have a formal report. I want to make some, some introductions based on the previous action of the board earlier. I would like to introduce 2 new appointments. The first being the newly appointed director at Bonds Career Center, Kelly Sanderson. I know she's out there, saw her earlier. Kelly, I believe you have some folks with you. The last one there we recognize. But even with his mask on, we recognize him. But you have someone else with you as well. Welcome. Kelly, congratulations on your appointment as a new director at Bonds. We look forward to your leadership there based on the things that you said to us during your interview. I know you have well in mind the things that will help move that career center forward. I know you're anxious to go in there and begin working with the faculty, the staff, the various school communities and the business communities to continue to move that center in a positive direction. So congratulations and welcome to your new leadership role. This time I'd like to ask Mark Loach to come in. Mark currently serves as the assistant principal at Monarch. As of a few minutes ago, though, he is now the newly appointed principal for the upcoming school year. Mark, congratulations. We look forward to you continuing in leadership at Monarch, been certainly in a new and exciting role. I know that you have a real grasp and knowledge of where the school is and how you can best work with the community and the faculty and staff there to continue to move it on a strong path forward. So again, congratulations, Mark. Always great to be able to recognize someone with moving into their first principalship. So again, congratulations. We look forward to working with you in your new leadership role. Mark. The last individual we want to recognize, and I think most, if not all of you, already know her, and that is Rhonda Rhodes. Rhonda has served for a number of years now as the principal at Taylor's Elementary and has done an excellent job leading that school, and is now looking forward to a new challenge, a unique school for us in leading a K-8, and will be leading them in their first year as fully a K-8, their first full year going in that direction. The first year for eighth graders to have an eighth grade was this year. And I know that she's excited about that opportunity and to work in conjunction with the new high school down there as a clear feeder pattern. Those are some of the things we talked about in her when we talked about this job opportunity with her. So we're delighted to transfer Rhonda there. We look forward to the same kind of leadership there that she has so capably provided at Taylor's Elementary School and in the other principalships during her tenure as a school leader. And this will be her fourth school serving as principal. So we look forward to having Rhonda in that role down there. Congratulations, Rhonda. Now, Ms. Venezuela, I'd like to cede the remainder of my time. I believe there's some recognitions, including a pretty important recognition of the board as a whole for its advocacy.
Yes, and I will ask Mr. Sailors if he would be so kind as to present this. And I will tell you that at the time, Ms. Grayson was the board chair and Mr. Lewis finished it up. So
she was committee chair.
She was committee chair, and Mr. Lewis was right on top of whatever.
We had advanced warning that this presentation was going to be made at the convention this past weekend. There were 5 of us in attendance, and if you noticed my social media post, the rest of you were there with us. So I had the staff be kind enough to put one of these together for everybody that wasn't able to make it. So when we were recognized, we could honestly say the entire board was in the room. One of the things that Grebel County has always been very effective at is a very strong advocacy program. This is not the first time we have received this recognition. I certainly hope it is not the last. But the work that we've done in the last several years has helped a lot, and I mean a lot of schools and a lot of school districts in other parts of this state, because we planted the seed of an idea or a direction and others followed. So it was our honor, all of us that were there Sunday morning, to represent each of you in this district in receiving this advocacy award for the year 2020. Also, the plaque recognizes, have to turn around the right way. The plaque recognizes also Mrs. Grayson, Dr. O'Connor, and Mr. Shamley as being on the board at that particular time, because this is a 2020 recognition. But it was well received, and I can say that I would hope that I can speak on behalf of the board that our success is not only our collective work, but that of the support that we get from the administration. We're the only school district in the state that has a full-time advocacy person with having Julie in place, and because of that, we're able to achieve certain areas that others cannot. We have, as Linda mentioned earlier, we've had people on this board that live advocacy, not only Mrs. Grace, but Mr. Lewis, and a number of us, if not all of us, in some place, shape, or form, have that running in our blood. So I want to thank you for your work. And Madam Chairman, if you'll come receive this on behalf of the board, we'll ask the staff to take last year's down and put this year's up. Yes, spread them up. And I got the idea of the pictures from Linda. Linda, let me say this. Linda, Linda and Glenda were both recognized as level 6 members for the board in their Boardsmanship Institute this year. And so Linda could not make it. And we had the idea of me going up, accepting the award for Linda and holding the paper up. So we planned on that, and the staff of the School Board Association had a different plan. So we came up with Plan B. And so again, this is on behalf of the School Board Association, and thank you all.
1, 2, 3. Let's do one of these. You hold your picture. Chuck will hold his.
This is the people who weren't there. These are the people who weren't, so all 12 of us will represent.
1, 2, 3. All right, thanks. That is pretty.
It is.
That is gorgeous. Who gets this?
It's not good. Yeah, give it. Take it home.
I don't know if I can give these to you, if I just want to use them so I can pretend to be one.
Good time.
My picture of Rich when it started this year.
You can use it as a thing. We can get it.
Like I'm hung up there at the post office.
Fine. Very nice. That's a great picture.
Not bad for 80 either.
That's a great picture.
You know, I think what we should do, Chuck,
Yes, ma'am.
because
Thank you, appreciate it.
as you said, I had this done with the Dancing with the Stars when I did it, but I think we should do all of our pictures. So when we have to take pictures as a board, we just do it like this and we don't have to worry about the mask. So that's the way, that's the picture I gave him to use to get my award. And he turned it into all of us.
Yes.
It was good fun. Yep. All right, so we will move on. Thank you, Chuck, for accepting our awards. And I'd like to thank both you and Lisa for representing us at the conferences, as well as all of our board members. Which board members attended? Michelle, Linda took my place, Carolyn, and 5 of us. Well, I know y'all made a very impactful statement for Greenville, and we appreciate your attendance. Thank you. All right, 6 point. Dr. Royster, is there anything else you have?
No.
All right, with that being said, we will go to 6.01. The request for use of CARES Act funds for personal protective equipment. A motion on the floor from the committee. It needs no second to approve $635,000 of CARES Act funding to ensure adequate personnel protective equipment through summer 2021. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all in favor, please address by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and the motion carries. 6.02, request to use CARES Act funds for academic support due to pandemic impact. Their recommended motion from the Committee of the Whole, it needs no second, to approve the use of $38,513,000 of CARES Act 1 and 2 funds for supporting academic activities for summer 2021 and the 2021-22 school year. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all in favor, please address by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the motion carries. 6.03, innovative course approval. Recommended action to approve the proposal. Local board courses are presented. And let me see. Recommended motion to approve the proposal coming from the Committee of the Whole that the local board courses as presented to be approved. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please address by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and the motion carries. 6.04, comprehensive annual financial report for the year ended June 30th, 2020.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move to accept the fiscal year 2020 comprehensive annual financial report as presented.
Is there a second? Second by Ms. Wells. Any questions? Hearing none. Yes, Ms. Wells.
Well, I guess just
part that's been added to this was the audit specifically of the CARES Act funds. I guess just in looking at that, is there anything from Mr. Finney that he might share with us and looking at the funds, the use of the funds, how we track what we're spending and the timing of that? Was there anything there that you thought we needed to be aware of as we move forward? Because we're going to be doing a lot more of this kind of
Exactly.
spending.
No, ma'am. So we looked at both the CARES Act money and the ESSER funds. No findings, no compliance issues for the year ended June 30th, 2020.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Finney. All in favor, please address by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the motion carries. 6.05, property acquisition for Fountain Inn High School. The recommended motion from the administration to approve the purchase of 1.045 acres adjacent to the new Fountain Inn High School. Dr. Royster, do you have any questions? I need a maker.
Madam Chairman, I move to approve the purchase of 1.045 acres adjacent to the new Fountain Inn High School.
Is there a second? Dr. Stiles, any questions? All in favor, please address by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. I'd also like to say that the sale price for the property is $260,000. Thank you. 7.01, committee liaison reports. I will ask those who have a report. Anyone? Mr. Lewis?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just an update to the board. We do have school visits that are scheduled for tomorrow. We are planning to be at Sterling School at 12:30 and at the Fine Arts Center at 1:45. There's a number of board members who indicated that they were attending. There are a few who are still able to attend if you'd like to. Just if you could just let Nancy know so that we know to expect you. We have additional visits scheduled for March, April, and May, and we'll be getting those dates out and the exact details once they're confirmed.
Any others? Any other questions? Any other reports? Hearing none, we will move to financial report. Dr. Worcester.
Thank you, Ms. Levinas Wells. I don't know that Ms. Stack, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. She started out over here. She, I know, has some positive news regarding our tracking our county tax revenues, and then she can answer any questions that you might have. Ms. Stack.
Thank you, Dr. Oyster. As of last month, we saw a lag in the tax collections for the county or through the county, and I'm happy to report that that has caught up, and we are back tracking as we estimated we would be at this time of the year, and also tracking against the collections from last year. So if you have any questions, I would be glad to take those.
There's a recommended motion from the administration. The monthly financial statements are being presented as an information item. So only, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Stack? Oh, Mr. Sutton.
Looking at the building fund for the month, I saw on here where we had spent $500,000 for portable. What was that for?
Give me just a second, but I believe that is for 2 portables that was set up at Augusta Circle.
So it cost $500,000 to set up 2 portables?
I'm sorry, what line were you looking at?
I think that might be the total line for that entire item, the budgeted line item.
Yeah, we had last year. So we got budgeted $386,000. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And we spent $86,000, and that's to set up 2 portables.
Yes, sir.
Last year, we had 0 asbestos removal. This year, we've already spent 72,000. What did we remove the asbestos from?
We'll have to, unless Robin knows, we may have to ask Colonel Carlin that question.
But we have done some work at Bryson Middle School and Summit Drive.
Repeat those two for me again.
Bryson Middle School and Summit Drive.
On the heating plants, we spent 548,000, which is 26% of the budget. Last year, it was 69% of the budget. So because we didn't have schools open, we didn't run heat.
I believe that, I don't think you're looking at a utility account, Coach Seth. I believe you're looking at a repair and maintenance account or a capital account. And we've got multiple accounts that we utilize for heating and cooling system repair and replacement. That's just one of them. Some of that's budgeted through Mars. Some of it's budgeted through regular maintenance, and some of it's through dedicated capital projects.
When it says that we're renovating heating plants, exactly what does that mean?
For the most part, that means we're gutting those systems and replacing them with new systems.
So we replaced it.
Yes, sir.
We've got $2 million and we spent 500,000. Are we going to continue to do that for this year?
Yes, sir. There's some projects that are ongoing now, and there'll be some others that will commence in June.
Okay. Why did it cost $86,000 to set up 2 portables? What was the big cost in that?
I imagine they had to be completely renovated. That would be indicative of moving and setup now, where it used to be about 3,000 is over 10,000 a piece, be between $10,000 and $13,000. Then generally speaking, portables, when we're putting them back in use now, we're having to put roofing on them, put siding on them. And quite honestly, we try to bring them up to where their appearance complements and matches the appearance of the exterior of the school.
How many portables?
And that was a double portable, I believe.
How many portables do we have?
Total?
Top of your head?
Top of my head, total 250. Probably got about 30 in service. That sound right, Colonel?
Okay, let me see if that's.
Yeah, that's another call.
Thank you, ma'am. I believe that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Sutter. I saw someone else. Ms. Michelle Goodwin call out.
On the minority vendors list, I see some new names on there. Are those new vendors?
I don't know that they're new vendors, but it means that they were used within the last quarter.
Okay, I've never seen those names before, but you also have like a purchasing, I guess it's the parameters of it. Some of that stuff on there I haven't seen before. I'm trying to pull it up again. About socially disadvantaged companies. Is that something new or that's always been on there?
It's always been on there.
Okay, it was talking about small businesses. I'm trying to pull it up. Now, who is Liberty Press? I see that they are, we did $338,000 worth of work with them. Who are they? Because this is my first time seeing that name.
I mean, I would have to get information back to you on that.
Information for me, please. And the purchasing, the form up here from purchasing, where you have this information about socially and economically disadvantaged small businesses. I haven't seen that before, but I'm asking you, is this new or this has always been in the purchasing guidelines?
And you're talking about page 2?
Yes, page 2.
I'll get that back to you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anything else? Anyone? Okay. Yes, but before you adjourn, I'd just like to say, Ms. Bush, you weren't here. I don't think you were here earlier when media was here, but they commented on your roses. And I told them that expressions and that both you and your husband make sure that we have flowers for every board meeting. And it has to, and I told her that what you're known for is you stop and smell the roses. And I will always remember that at Lifelong Learning's graduation. Yeah, so even if it's through a mask. But with that being said, thank you for the roses. And I will ask Nancy if you will give these to Gail, because sometimes I don't remember Gail, and she does a lot. So if you would make sure she gets mine, I would appreciate it. I will now entertain a motion, Mr. Salins.
Madam Chairman, I move that we adjourn.
Second by Ms. Wells. Any questions? All in favor, please address by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the motion carries, and we are now adjourned.